All right, what's up, Dragon Brood? A lot of you are probably wondering when you hear standards awesome right now, why we say that. Or you might think it's fun, but you have friends that don't know and you're having trouble articulating that. Well, today, I'm going to fill you in on why standards really good. Here's 5 reasons. First thing, there's a ton of different decks available right now. Like, literally, if you like playing control, there's like the domain stuff, or Azorius, or if you like playing aggro, there's really low to the ground Gruul, there's the Boros tokens decks, there's mid-rangey things in mono black. Like, there's all kinds of stuff. Even later in the seasons, we keep finding new and better, different decks as the weeks go on. Like, I mean, recently the lands deck came out, and now there's all types of stuff using the new Nissa, right? Like 3 or 4 different decks. Like, it just keeps evolving, and there's tons of options, and that's a really good thing. Like, genuinely, almost any type of way you want to play Magic, there's an option. Even combo-y stuff. There's a couple of things in Thunder Junction that are right around the corner that are just going to add to that, and that's good. But number 2 is that there's also answers for everything. Like, if you're getting run over by those Boros tokens decks, all right, well, add some Brotherhoods in. Like, you're getting tired of stuff coming out of the graveyard in some of those heavier control decks. Great. There's a bunch of cards that remove graveyards. Playing long games against counters, I've literally killed people with Tyrannix Rex in recent weeks on Arena. Right? There's options for everything. Now, some of them you have to look for a little bit more, but the fact that we even have options is actually a good thing. And this is coming from the guy that complains about there being so many sweepers every set, because there really are, but even those can be overcome. But why does that all work? Well, because of number 3. We are about to have the largest standard ever, and probably the largest it's ever gonna be. Especially when you considered we had 2 of those Innistrad sets back to back, and then we got the March of the Machines Aftermath, and now we're just gonna be completing the 3rd year of a standard run, whatever we call that, standard rotation, right? Like, this is wild. Like, this is more cards than we've ever had to pick from when playing standard. And this is actually kind of what they announced a couple years ago, like we were going to be heading into this. And the idea is your cards just last longer in standard, and that's a positive, right? So if you built a deck a couple of years ago, well, you've been able to play that for over 2 years now, and you'll get to play it all the way up until August with virtually no changes unless you just added new cards. That's a good thing. If people start playing today and they build a deck, except for stuff that maybe is going to rotate in August, like, you could build a deck now and it's going to stay mostly the same for another 2 years. That's where you want to be. That encourages more people to play. I think it just took a while for people to get caught up because we were used to standard rotating every 2 years. And as it turns out, every 3 years gives us way more time to play our favorite decks. And this leads into number 4, which is kind of seeing the community slowly embrace it, right? There were some of us that have been kind of in the standard pool the whole time, but then slowly more people came to the pool party. I don't I don't even know if that analogy works. But what I'm saying is people are slowly discovering it, and we're seeing more stores run RCQs that are standard. Wizards started pushing these standard showdown events, and I've played a couple of them. It's actually been fun. And some of the promos are actually kind of expensive as it turns out. Like, I won one and I didn't even know till somebody wanted one, is like, would you sell it for 100? And I was like, what? And it was like, I went to look it up and was like, oh my goodness, okay. I was just having fun and won a cool card. But yeah, even that's an attraction, right? There's just so many things going on now for standard that didn't before. Hell, we just had a $75,000 tournament back at MagicCon Chicago. That was standard. And even crazier from that is where we got a brand new deck that the person even played. I think it was like 67 cards or something. Like, so a deck that totally broke the norms, was playing completely different, won the biggest tournament of the year. And if that doesn't say that standard's healthy, I don't know what to tell you. Like, that is exactly what you want, really? Like, I would think so, but I don't know. Everybody's got opinions. But honestly, right now, you're now finally having the opportunity to play standard in a lot of places that you haven't been able to for the last couple of years. Yes, some of that is because of COVID and things change or whatever, but the fact that it's even back on people's radar again is a good thing. You can almost get in on like the ground floor and be ahead of the curve. And how do you stay ahead of the curve? Well, number 5. There are tons and tons and tons of creators that are actually doing standard content. Like, obviously here on the channel we put up stuff every day, but there's people that are doing 3, 4, 5 times a week. And it doesn't matter if it's me, CGB, LVD, Swayze. I don't know why they all end in E, but Philippa Corolla, who's doing some fun stuff. Like there's just creators left and right that are doing tons of good standard content. And what's good about that is if you have an idea about a card or a concept, one of us is probably doing it at some point in the next 2 weeks, right? Like you just have to search YouTube for it. And you can even see the idea in progress, kind of the thoughts coming together. It may not be the best final version, but we're kind of workshopping ideas for you. So if you want to just see a concept, maybe you can turn it into something. Or we also show you that it's so rough, maybe you don't want to touch it. But I don't think any other format has that many people concentrating to just, I don't know, just workshop all these ideas to where you don't have to do the work. It's being done for you. All you have to do is go hunt around and watch, at least 15 minutes of a video to get a feel for a deck and watch a couple games. That's a huge bonus when you're stepping into a format for the first time, or at least one you haven't played in forever. And you're like, I wonder if this card's any good. And then you can go find 5 videos about it, right? Like, that's a really good thing. I mean, hey, yeah, I'm a creator and I'm pumping up some of the other creators out here, but the reality is what it is. I mean, you can literally workshop ideas left and right and find out if stuff works or not without having to spend your time or money or resources. Overall, this is all really fun and exciting for me. Like, I've always enjoyed standard, but seeing more people come into the fold, more people asking questions, like seeing all the ridiculous cards that are in Thunder Junction, I have so many ideas. Like, I already have, I think, like 20 new decks built that I'm just waiting for it to go live on Arena so we can start playing all these crazy things. Like, there's so much stuff we can do right now, and it's fun, it's interesting, it's exciting. Now, will Thunder Junction turn things on its ear? Yeah, probably for a week or two while we're all trying all this crazy stuff. But like always, it'll settle down. Things will start lighting up. We'll figure out what the meta is. And then you'll just see like a new thing start evolving every week because that's sort of what's been happening. Maybe every 2 weeks. But you'll see constant movement in the metagame, and that's a good thing. And like I said, as decks become popular, we have answers for them, right? I mean, we can't complain too much. Now, don't get me wrong. Are there some cards that are annoying? Sure, like I mentioned about the sweepers. But people look at stuff like Shieldred and be like, but the reality is Shieldred's only in a couple of decks right now. Like some people, me included, I've shoved Shieldred in a deck when I just didn't know what else I wanted in the slot, but they totally function without her. She's not in as many decks as you think, even though it is a strong card, which I think is a positive and says a lot about the format. But overall, it's your call if you want to start playing standard or not, or if you want to convince friends to play standard. But either way, show them this video. And honestly, why do you enjoy standard right now? Because I'm sure people have other reasons that I didn't even mention. But if you are looking for a head start and want to get some more fun ideas for standard, I'll link some stuff that can get you primed. That's all I have you for now. We'll see you next time.